Happy holidays, YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a video about presents, gifts that we have received in the past. I'm going to be covering the best and the weirdest. We'll start with the weird. One of the stranger gifts I've received over the years has been this. This is a rain stick. Makes a cool sound, but it is a little odd. Another gift I have received is this, because who doesn't need their very own crystal ball? It even has a spiffy stand that it sits on, and actually getting this out of my display cabinet was kind of a chore because it's heavy and it's the position I have to get into to get it out is kind of awkward. I'm hoping I can get it back in without breaking anything. There's all kinds of glass and ceramic and things inside that. And we have this, which is a military armor-piercing 9mm round, which was a gift from a coworker of mine. He also made me a round, and unfortunately, I can't find it. I don't know where it went, which is kind of a pity, because I don't know many people that have a handmade round, but he made me a .357 Magnum handmade armor-piercing round. I'm not really sure why he did this, but he did. He knew I was a gun enthusiast. Far more active at that point in my life than I am now, but there you have it. On the best side, a few years ago, my wife got me a gift. Now, there's a company called Goodman Games, and they produce, or did at one time, a lot of material for the 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons game. And they had other games they covered as well. But every year, they would put out a grab bag. You could spend X amount of money, like you spend $50, and you'd get this grab bag of random things from their company, which would probably be worth $200 or $250. Well, she got the biggest one they had, which I think was $100. And it's a big box. I mean, 2.5 feet long and 18 inches wide and a foot thick. And it shows up, and she puts this thing in my lap. And it weighed a ton. And it was just full of all kinds of geeky gaming paraphernalia. There was a t-shirt, there was books, there were game pieces, there were miniatures, there was a card, at least 1 or 2 card games in there. It was just full of really, really cool things. It was very nerdy, it was very geeky, and it was a gift that she had to go out of her way to find and acquire, and it was aimed specifically at my hobbies. So I was very touched by that. And then, as I mentioned in the past, I used to be very active in the Society for Creative Anachronisms, the SCA. And within that society, quite a few people have created their own sub-organizations. Like, for example, the Clan of the Blue Feather, which is an organization for the LGBT community within the SCA. And there are also households, and households are kind of extended families. Sometimes it's just a group of friends that decide they want to designate themselves as a group. Sometimes they eventually become to have more importance, like, oddly enough, a group known as the Were Sheep. Started out as a joke because a bunch of guys had made armor out of white carpet remnants. But eventually, all of them became like knights and nobility within the SCA. So now becoming a member of the Were Sheep is like a really big honor. Kind of how things change over time. But I was a member of a household known as Clan Riamog, which essentially stands for the Eternally Young. And it was founded by a friend of mine named Angus O'Neill. That was the name he used within the SCA. And I believe he is now a knight, or not a knight, or whatever the equivalent is if you don't actually swear fealty. But he's also very active in fighting reenactments outside the SCA, and it's actually won international awards for his sword techniques in Europe, amazingly enough. He goes by the name, his real name is Jeremy O'Neill, in case you'd ever like to look it up, and that's Oneail, Oneail. And as part of that household, he made up household badges. Now the badges everyone got in the group looked like this, because that was the symbol he used on his shield. And this is made out of FEMA, eventually. This very easily to manipulate clay. You bake it in the oven, it gets hard. But it's relatively brittle. If I really wanted to, I could I could snap that in half. Everyone in the group got one of those except for me. I got mine. And mine is made out of brass. And it's made out of brass because, as Angus put it, he knew that of all the members in the group, the one who would never break their bond to him would be me. Because he made all the others made out of something that could be snapped in case they dishonored our household. He could then take the badge that he had given them, break it in half, and they would no longer be a member of the house. But mine, he couldn't break in half. And even though I haven't seen Angus in years, and I'm not active in the SCA any longer, I never broke my vow. I don't plan on it. But, and I just discovered this today while looking for the 357 Magnum round, and I had forgotten how important it was when I got it. See that right there? That X means 10. This is a coin that you receive if you are a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. There's one for every year you're in it. And 10 is a pretty significant year. It means you've been sober for 10 years. You've earned the right to carry this coin. My father earned this coin. He'd been sober for 10 years at the time. I can't remember what he's up to now. I think it's 19 or 20. Yeah, close to that. I think I was 26 or 28 when he got sober. And I have a tangible piece in my hand that says to the world that my father is sober. Because my father was a drunk for his entire life. From when he was 15 years old until I was in my late 20s. During my entire time I was raised by him, he was an abusive, psychotic alcoholic. I bear scars, physical, emotional, and psychological, because of that. I may never achieve what I want as far as personal development goes someday, because I was raised in a household that was very unhealthy. And we wouldn't have had any relationship of any kind if he'd kept drinking. I had broken off all contact with him for a while, until he got sober. I let him know that our relationship is on equal footing, that I can walk away anytime I want. So, after 10 years, he gave me this. It meant a fair amount to me then than it does now. He's got more of them. He's probably got a stack of them now. But this one's mine. And I'll always keep it. Happy holidays, YouTube.